You said you had something?
Oh, yeah, I did have a question because we were talking about marriage earlier and how you felt there was very little incentive for men to get married.
Yeah.
And as we moved on from that conversation, it just came to my mind that I think marriage is still a societal status for a lot of people. If you look at any of the, major CEOs or really successful men, having a wife seems to play into their societal favor. Would you agree with that there is societal status that comes with marriage for men?
Women acquire all the status for marriage because they take the last name typically.
Well, I look at someone like George Clooney. When he got married, for some reason, it seemed he got a lot more respect in the industry than someone like Leonardo DiCaprio, who gets continuously trolled for being...
Leonardo DiCaprio actually gets a lot of respect.
And George Clooney's twice
I'm not saying
divorced.
he doesn't...
Like,
Well, what about
Leo
for men
gets,
in office? Like, isn't it a requirement to have a wife if you're president of the United States or something like that? Like,
It's not a requirement, but they've all,
They
except
all
for
are.
one of them had a wife die in office and then married a woman that he knew when she was born. Was it Grover Cleveland?
It's an image thing. It's an image thing
Okay.
for the presidency, but I
Okay.
would say in general, men don't acquire status from marrying. It's women that acquire status.
I think that used to be the way it is. Certainly not now.
Well, like nowadays, like nah, but yeah, maybe before.
That's 20th century.
Yeah, but I would argue it's women by far that gain the majority of the status benefits. Because if you think about it, women take the man's last name. Women marry for status, not men.
I hear that. I hear that. I agree with it. But I do think there are certain industries where it still perhaps is
can
I
be
mean, in some
beneficial.
situations, like, if you want to be a partner at a law firm or you're a CEO, whatever, is it more presentable?
Industrialist.
Oh, yes, I have a wife at home, yes. But the reality is this, who's going to actually work harder and rise up the ranks? I'll tell you this, it's the fucking single guys. That's why gay dudes are dominating, because they don't, it's true. If you look at high levels of government, you look at high levels of corporate America, etc. If you look at all the major cities that are expensive to live in, who dominates it? It's gay dudes. And I make the argument all the time. They don't deal with women, so they have more time. A lot of times they behave like they're single, even if they do have a boyfriend. So it's changing, man. It's changing, unfortunately.
As the 27-year-old married guy on the panel here, as far as status is concerned, I don't think it's necessarily a status like make or breaker anymore. It probably used to be. Like I said, I think that's 20th century way of thinking. However, I'm going to pull a Kiyosaki on you here. If you have a wife that is an asset, that's great. If you have a wife that is a liability, that's not so good.
Actually, forget the guy's name. He works for Valuetainment, gay black guy. After we did our podcast over at PBD, I was talking with him, and I was like, man, it'd be interesting if they did a study to see who has a higher net worth, heterosexual men or gay men. And he was like, no, they did. Yeah, gay men have a higher net worth. And I was like, what the fuck?
As a percentage of the population, obviously, I definitely think so.
Because they generally don't have kids.
But that's crazy, though, because, that tells you right then and there that, like, if you take a guy that's, like, married versus a dude that's gay, who's going to make more money? And that tells you that, like, just how much of a financial drain it is for men to deal with them in general. Because most guys, let's be honest, they don't marry women that are assets. They marry women that are liabilities.
I heard something, and it's historical, but I don't know if it was true, but I heard it somewhere, like the Spartans or there was, like, a group of warriors that were, like, they were pretty small numbers, but they could defeat numbers of other men who were way larger than them.
Probably Spartans?
They were all gay in partnerships.
No, they weren't. They actually had
What
sex
was
with
it?
each other.
I don't know that that's accurate. You're talking about the Battle of Thermopylae in 483.
I heard something somewhere.
Which is what 300 was based on.
They were legendary for being indestructible, though.
Yes, but I don't know that it was because they were having homosexual sex with each other.
Well, no, but they were. I don't know. Whatever.
I think that's a fantasy that a lot of people would like to play out, but I think they were just bad. I think King Leonidas was just a bad motherfucker. I think that's pretty much what happened.
That's the start of a plot for a porn.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's
I don't
been
have
fun.
anything to say. I think this was a pretty healthy debate. And
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thanks for being a good sport.